You only have one life to live, so get the most out of it. On Good Life, Great Life, join me, Brian Highfield, and my guests as we share success stories, habits, mindsets, and lessons learned by successful people. These lessons are not taught in schools, but are critical for getting ahead in life. Whether you want a successful business or career, optimal health, or a lifestyle that most people just dream of, Good Life, Great Life has you covered. After retiring from a successful corporate career in my 40s, I founded multi-million-dollar businesses in the sports and healthcare arenas. Now, I help everyday people maximize their lives and speak regularly at seminars, on podcasts, and radio shows to share principles on the topics of health, wealth, and happiness. Don't let a good life get in the way of a great life. Join me today on Good Life, Great Life. Well, welcome to another episode of Good Life, Great Life. So we have with us today, we have Chad Osinga. So welcome to the episode, Chad.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, Chad is a former Army sniper and combat instructor. And so we wanted to get to know you a little bit, Chad. So can you let our audience in on your background and what you're all about?
Yeah. So, I grew up fairly rough. My mother was into drugs and I didn't have a lot of guidance growing up, and it caused a lot of issues in my life. And when I got married, and I'm still married to my beautiful wife, we got together at 14. She really encouraged me to turn a new leaf. So I joined the military. And at first it was really hard, but it also, I think, was the thing that taught me how to be an overcomer, right? Upstairs in your mind. And so I ended up, becoming a sniper, which was an experience. I remember going through it, and so many people thought I was going to fail because the attrition rate is super, super high. And, there's different courses. I was going to a special operations sniper course. And so we got to go home on the weekends, and every weekend he was, "Oh, did you fail? Did you fail?" And no, I made it, so I'm still in it, and it really conditioned me to what I would face later on in life. And I was in Iraq, and I got really, really hurt, and I ended up having to be medically retired. And as I was doing that, I faced another challenge with PTSD. And it really hit me after I exited the Army. While I was in it and active, it seemed not to have as large of an impact in my life. But as soon as I exited, it was like those demons were, and that's what I call PTSD, is demons. They were just, constant, in the forefront of my mind. And so I picked up riding motorcycles, just something to try to take the edge off. And in 2018, a car hit me as I was taking a left turn. He blew through the light at 45 miles an hour, never touched his brakes.
Wow.
Young kid. He was probably playing, Pokemon Go or something, and whacked me. I went into a guardrail, and most people thought I was not going to live. And I did, obviously. It took me about a year after that to build the courage to get back on a motorcycle. I have this thing with fear. It's very relevant, right? But I feel like you have to face it. And so I didn't want the fear to beat me. So I hopped back on the motorcycle, and, everything was kind of going well. And in 2020, I was with a few friends on I-95 going south, and a minivan just changed lanes right into me, sent me into a construction zone. My bike went into the Jersey barrier, and I died twice, basically. I died on the way to the hospital the first time, and then before my second surgery, I flatlined again. And when I was in ICU, because I was in ICU for about a week, and I didn't have a phone because my phone was on the motorcycle, so it got destroyed. Because of COVID, they wouldn't allow, visitors, right? So it was in that moment that I realized everything I had been through between, my childhood, the military, even the struggles within my marriage. I have 4 kids, 3 of them are special needs. My daughter had a stroke when she was 5. And so my family's been through a lot. And then there I was laying in this hospital bed, and I realized, I have a purpose. I have there's a reason I'm here, right? And I knew that I had to deliver that to the world, right? I had to help as many people as possible. And that's really what got me into speaking and mentoring and just trying to give back to my community.
No, it's wow. It's just a wild, twisted experience of all these different things. So when you say you're an overcomer, I mean that's an understatement with everything that you just described that you went through.
Well, thank you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So, I love what you said. You said don't let fear beat you. You know, when you all this fear of your first accident to get back on, and then it happened again. And so how do you overcome that when you exactly what you fear happens again?
That's a great question. So, I think first you have to isolate the fear, right? And dissect what the root cause of that fear is, right? And then you have to face it. Whatever action, there's always action you can take. All right. Let's take away from the accident thing and riding a motorcycle. Let's say you're scared of investing money, right? Well, your action is to go learn, right? Set yourself up in a situation to where you can make an intelligent decision that works out for you, right? It's, in my case, I had to realize that it was going to be okay. I have one life to live, right? And getting on that motorcycle and facing that fear and realizing that those two incidents can't define what's going to happen today, tomorrow, a year from now was freeing, right? Those incidents happen, they're gone, they're done with. Like if I attach my future to that, it's like a bowling ball attached to me, right?
Yeah.
And it just holds me from really moving into my future the way I should. So
Yeah. And so you were also talking about people are expecting you to fail in that, and they're expecting you to drop out or to just fail in there. And I guess and we all have that in our lives. We all have people that just expect us that we're going to fail. And especially in business, I've seen this many times that everybody expects your business is just going to fail. And is that motivating to you though? When people expect you to fail, you would go out there and prove them wrong?
Yes, it is. We all are going to meet obstacles, right? You're defined not by the obstacle, but by how you respond to it. You can be like everybody else, okay? And you can allow those things to cause a U-turn in your life and go right back to where you were. And then you're going to complain and be mad that, you're not X, Y, and Z, right? Or you can continue to move forward and figure it out as you go. And that's exactly what I've done. I mean, I think it motivated me to work harder than the rest. I get inspired by people like Michael Jordan. Everyone thinks, oh, Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player. But what they don't tend to remember is he got cut from his high school basketball team, right? They told him he wasn't good enough. And so he had to make a decision. And that's really what it is. It's a constant everyday decision to put the work in, to not settle for that, because if you listen to the world, if you listen to everybody around you, they're going to put a price tag on you that is a low ball offer, right? It's not what you're really worth. You're worth so much more, but you have to be the one that decides that, right? And to really put the price tag, you reach the pinnacle you're willing to stop at. If you're willing to keep going, you're going to go higher and higher and higher and higher. And I think that's what I learned. I mean, doing the sniper school, like that's what it taught me. I was literally beside some of the most bravest, skilled men that this world has to offer, right? And it was an honor. And if I hadn't kept fighting, if I had to listen to the noise, I wouldn't be there. I wouldn't be able to stand beside these men and feel that feeling of honor,
Yeah. So how are some of these lessons that you've learned in the military and to your experiences, how does that translate to business? If you're mentoring someone that's looking to get into business, be an entrepreneur, how do some of those lessons translate?
Well, especially being an entrepreneur, right? You're going to everybody. So there's a lot of people out here teaching these get rich schemes, and you can get lost in this. And then as you move forward, you realize it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder than what people think. And if you don't understand your why behind what you're doing, and I teach a belief system, right? Not like your religious belief system, right? But what you believe about yourself, how you interpret and associate things in this world that happen to you. And until you can change that, right, you're gonna have problems. And so I think that that's what has helped me be successful in my military career and even now. And so I pass that same information on to leaders and entrepreneurs, right? First, you got to work on you. You can't be an effective leader if you're all over the place, right? You got to know the why. You have to see the bigger picture. I read, what is that? Hold on. I have it written down somewhere. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. It is I've read it 3 times. I'm actually reading it again right now about thinking bigger, right? And when you talk about being a leader, right, why are you have these subordinates under you? If you're not able to think bigger, right, you're not going to be able to scale the business and train them, right, to accent what you want them to do. And I think that once we focus on ourselves, begin to change those things, then we can implement that in the lives of the people that we work with. And then they begin to help that business and that thing grow into a well-oiled machine that just can scale and keep scaling, and you can step back, right? And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And so I think, but belief is huge. There's belief in yourself. There's belief in whatever industry you're in, the belief in a lot of different things that you have to have. And I think belief in yourself is what you talked about, and is probably the most important. And thinking bigger is huge, because I think you need a big vision. If you want to do big things, you need a big vision.
Yes. And if you begin to really look at this, if you don't have the right belief system and you are, begin to dare to think big, people are going to try to deflate that balloon, right? And so if you don't have the right belief system supporting those dreams, supporting the actions that you are taking, you're going to end up running out of steam and giving up, right? Because it's not easy at first. Anybody that knows how, when you start a business, you run the midnight oil. You might get 3-4 hours of sleep a night. Turn around first thing in the morning, you're right back on your laptop or on the phone, doing whatever you have to do to make this thing work, and so those are the things that people don't talk about. And if you don't have the right mindset, it's going to be quite challenging to succeed.
Yeah. And you probably have seen that visual of like the iceberg, because people only see the success at the tip of the iceberg. They don't see all the trials. They don't see everything they had to overcome that's kind of below the surface in order to get there. And they may have a false impression. This is easy to do. Look at them, and because they don't see all that other stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, it's just, like you said before, you've got those people that are, I don't want to say they're wishing you to fail, but they think you're going to fail. And then you've got the dream stealers that try to deflate your balloon, like you were talking about all the time. And, people, when they start a business, they often think, we're often told, hey, this is easy, not understanding all that hard work that has to go in there, or the sacrifice. Because like you said, people move from an employee mindset where they have that guaranteed paycheck to now they own a job, right? And they are the only person on the hook there. And that's why they have to put in so many hours to get their business up and running.
Yes. You are 100% right. And, I would like to add too, when we talk about other people, the only person you should be comparing yourself to and competing with is yourself, right? You're going to lose. There's always going to be someone who has more money, has a more successful business, nicer car, whatever it is that you're looking at that, you're comparing, they might scale faster. Their business might take off a little bit quicker, whatever, right? But your race, your fight, it's all within yourself. I have a lot of students look in the mirror, right, and close their eyes, think about all their obstacles, all the things that are stopping them or whatever, and then think about everything they need and everything they want to be. And then I tell them to open the eyes and say, it's right there, right in front of you, right? Everything that we need is within us. It's not with somebody else. It's not, whatever else you're looking at, it's not there. It's within us, right? And getting people to understand that, I think, is really the key. And once they do, the success can really scale.
Yeah. And I think you're exactly right. And I think that's a great technique, because people think, oh, I need to wait for the perfect conditions. And, I'm going to wait till I have this and have that. And then, the message of you are enough and you have enough rings true with people once they see it. But again, it goes back to belief, right? They have to believe that that's true. Otherwise, they're going to blame all these outside factors that have no bearing on their future success.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right. Definitely.
Yeah. What so you're a motivational speaker now, and so what type of groups do you meet with, or who hire you to come in there? Are these business leaders? You talked about working with young people. Is it all over the place?
Yeah, veterans, of course, right? I like to work with them and their mindsets. I do a lot of free work with the youth. I'm real passionate with at-risk kids and special need kids. Of course, I have 3 special need kids myself, and I use basketball to reach my at-risk kids. But then I also speak to entrepreneurs and leaders, especially leaders. When we talk about leadership, I have a very big understanding, I guess, of what it takes to be a leader and have men under you and be successful in very stressful situations, right? And so I try to get in front of the entrepreneurs and the leadership crowd more than anything. So and then, like I said, I'll never stop, giving back to my community, and I love speaking in front of them and helping them in any way I really can. I actually do a motorcycle rally to raise money for the at-risk kids in our community. So I love being able to give back.
Awesome. It's great. Talk a little bit about leadership, because I can only imagine, leading a group of grown men, especially in a combat situation, just the pressure that you'd feel in those types of situations, and how's that feel, and how do you overcome that?
I think first it's a relationship with your guys, right? Like, too many people try to come into leadership as I'm the boss, and that's an incorrect manner, right? You're not going to have respect, and if you don't have that trust and that respect off the bat, you're not going to function well in a stressful situation. You tell them to go left, they're going to go right, because they don't care what you say. They don't have. So that's the first thing is how are you leading? What is your leadership style, right? And that has to be something that's going to be advantageous to the group, knowing who is below you and what rings true to them. I also teach, I was taught at an early age in the career to teach our subordinates to take my place, right? Not to, like, people are scared of losing their little spot in leadership, right? And that should actually be the goal. The goal should be, hey, come take my spot. Yeah. Right. So, I have had toxic leaders in my life where they have all the keys to success. They don't want to give them, right? Because they want to have that, I don't know how to say it, that little carrot that they can dangle in front of people, right? And again, bad leadership, right? I want them to know the tricks in the trade. I want them to be able to take more off my plate, right? So I can focus on the bigger picture of whatever we're doing. And so, I think those are the 2 main things that I try to really hone in on at first with leadership, because I've seen it firsthand work for me in a very stressful situation. And the last thing is working with them over and over again, right? A lot of times we give direction, we walk away, we're not very hands-on, right? And that, again, that trust isn't built. They have to be able to flow with you, right? You have to be approachable. You have to have these things that I believe are crucial, right, to be an effective leader.
Awesome. Good stuff. I wish we had more time. We're running out of time a little bit, but before we do that, how can our audience learn more about you or get in touch with you?
MrTenacity.com. It's all one word. And then I'm on Facebook, Chad Osinga. You can, message me. You can get me there on MrTenacity.com and get a hold of me either way. So those are probably the two best.
Mr. Tenacity. I love it. That really speaks to everything you're talking about, being the overcomer. I love it.
Yes. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being on the program, Chad. This has been an awesome discussion.
Hey, it's been an honor. And, I really do appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So our guest today has been Chad Osinga. He is a motivational speaker and former Army sniper and combat instructor. And so thanks again, Chad.
All right, thank you.